What's good, y'all? It's your boy JaKar, and today I'm gonna be ranking Childish Gambino's entire discography, not including his mixtape that I actually grew up on, but albums. And I've done a few of them up here on the channel, so definitely check them out. And the other ones are Patreon exclusives, so definitely click the link below and tap in. But I'm not just gonna be ranking the albums, I'm actually gonna be ranking my favorite 20 Childish Gambino songs. So kick your feet up, watch this video straight through, and also if you can, comment below, how would you rank Childish Gambino's albums, and also what is your 3 favorite songs from him. And one more thing before we begin, hit the bell notification, hit the subscribe button. It's just the beginning. Let's go. My 20 favorite songs from Childish Gambino. Number 20 is gonna be Alone off of early EP. Number 19 is gonna be Feel Like Summer. 18 is This Is America. I honestly feel like This Is America could definitely elevate it a lot more if he didn't say it so many times and actually wanted to add something deeper into it and add more lyrics into it, but kind of the same premise with Feels Like Summer. Definitely could have been higher because I love the instrumentation of it and the concepts, the kind of concepts behind it. 17 is going to be Sober. I think it's just something that we all grew up on. That's cute. But as I've gotten older, doesn't have that much weight behind it. 16 is going to be Life's Biggest Troll. Man, he was rapping his ass off on that song. It's the closing to Because the Internet. It really epitomizes exactly the type of lyricist that Childish Gambino is when he really has a topic and he just wants to stick to it and really focus on it. 15 is Not Going Back. I just think that it's the early singing. It's me as a kid, you know, I'm not going back. Cockroaches is crazy. And that's that aggression that he rapped with. Same that he rapped with on Camp. And so that's like the early Childish when I was in high school that I'm like, man, I miss those days. And so it's still up there for me. Number 14 is That Power. Literally one of my favorites off of Camp. It's just always has been. It's not as clean as it could be, you know, but this is early, younger Childish. And so we just take it. 13 is 3005. No matter what you say or what you do, when I'm alone, I'd rather be with you. Come on now. I'll be right by your side till 2005. Hold up. Like, come on. A song that is a legendary song within his catalog that is just always going to make you feel good. You can send this to anyone that you really, really rock with. It's a great song. Next up, we have Sunrise off of Camp. Camp is really going to be the same reason every single time. It's just nostalgic for me. I feel like I always miss that type of softness within his voice. Making songs that were so different than any other artists around that time that just sounded and felt different. Next up, surprisingly, is Redbone. I don't have Redbone in my top 10 favorites. It's just for some reason, I always felt like it could have been better. It's because I know that Childish Gambino could sing so good. That's why when he does that voice, that baby vocal filtered voice, it don't hit for me because I know he can sing his ass off. He's a great singer. So doing that voice, if he would have did his regular voice that he's done earlier in his career, but now he doesn't want to do it anymore. If he would have did that on Redbone, it might be my favorite song ever from him. The bass, and the drums and just everything is just hitting. Stay Woke, singing that, it's legendary. It's still one of my favorites, as you can see, but it's not in my top 10 because of the vocals, really. Now to get into my top 10 favorite Childish songs, number 10 is going to be Crawl. That beat is just insane. I can't get enough of it. Perfect intro for Because the Internet. Love the intro. Wish he had more like crazy songs like that. Just grand, big. That is up there for me. And surprisingly, number 9 is going to be Final Church off of Atta Vista. My favorite song off of Atta Vista. There is love in every moment. Under the sun, boy, you do what you wanna do. Man, it's that feeling that I needed right there. Being so encouraging, and it's almost gospel-y that Childish flawlessly does right there. And the beat is just so funky. It almost feels like a Tina Turner type, just hitting really fast paced, like a rock and roll type, but also gospel. Final Church. He's singing the vocals. I love the way he sings. Number 8 is gonna be Terrified. Dun, 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 dun. Bass out of this world. Yo, just hide. You know that you're the one that's terrified. It's giving that feeling that I wanted on this album. A couple songs like Boogeyman really are flat for me. I feel like he just could have kept Terrified and we would have got the feeling that he was trying to hit. And I don't really think there's a song like it, actually, now that I think about it. Number 7 is going to be Let Her Home. You're the only girl that I have ever wanted. Every other girl is trying to be you. Hey, I remember being in high school. I sent this song out. I can't lie. Take my hand. You'll like it. You don't even have to call. Yes, I've had some alcohol. I'm sorry. Yo, imagine me being 14, 15, listening to this song, and I'm just in my young emotions on a super crush. Like, I'm crushing hard. You're all I ever wanted. I'm young. What the fuck do I know? How do I didn't even live yet. You're the first girl that I liked. You know? So it just brings me back to that, and it's sung perfectly. There's poetry within it. Lettered Home. And last song out of the top 5 is gonna be Shadows. My God, I love that song so much. The only reason that it's out of my top 5 is because it switches right in the middle point to something that I just don't like, where he's doing the grandness and the vocals that just ain't really hitting for me. The first half was amazing. Love Shadows, but anytime that I listen to it, right after the first half, I just usually click skip. And so how could I have a song in my top 5 if I'm skipping half the song? You feel me? To go into my top 5, let me know first off in the comments, fam, if there's any song out of my top 5 that's in yours. Definitely comment that below. Number 5 has grown on me in these past couple of years. It wasn't one of my favorites at all, actually, and just the past couple of years have been hitting me, and then when I re-listened to Awaken My Love, it hit me again. So number 5 is gonna be Baby Boy. And I usually don't like those baby vocals, but for me, it's so innocent. It's almost like it's the perfect placing for it. I don't need it all the time. If he would have just kept it right here, that would have been perfect. We don't need it on Redbone. We don't need it on Stand Tall and all these type of songs on Awaken My Love, but we'll get to that. Baby Boy is so pure, so innocent. He's saying the plea that we're all pleading out is, if I'm being a great father, just don't take my babies away. Maybe we're not working out no more. Maybe we divorce. Okay, but just don't take my kids away, right? Little hands, little feet, little time. Like, you're a caring father. You care about these things. That's our worst nightmare, is the woman not giving a fuck and saying, hey, I'm taking this baby either way. So he's just pretty much pleading that out. Number 4 is gonna be Lithonia. Lithonia could possibly be my favorite song from Childish Gambino. Every time I've listened to it nonstop ever since it came out. And I think a lot of us, I saw some comments that were saying, yo, this might be my favorite song from Childish Gambino, which is crazy. It's still new, it's still early, but goddamn, Cody LeRae. My God, that shit can make you emotional. The guitar goes crazy, the band goes crazy. He's singing his heart out. That's all I'm saying. Why can't he sing like this on more songs? It's like he knows he can sing, but then he's like, I'm gonna just add these filters, baby voice, all that stuff, because for some fans, they love it. And y'all are the fans that are making him, well, he's retiring now, so it's done, but made him keep doing these vocals. I'm like, no. If more people told him, sing like he's singing Lithonia, then goddamn. Or when he was singing on Camp and stuff with, like, a song like this. Baby, You're the Baddest. Listen, my third favorite song is Less off of Camp. My favorite song off of Camp. Baby, you're the baddest. Baby, you're the baddest girl, and nobody else matters. We're kissing in the bathroom, and I kind of hope they catch us. Man, that is low-key the truth of everything. It's like, yo, we're kissing in the bathroom, and they're somebody about to catch us, but I kind of hope they catch us. We're kids. I'm here. Well, that's why senior skip day is a thing. You want to graduate and say, yes, yeah, I know what it's like to skip class. I know what it's like. Just a little something. You know what I'm saying? Just that little edginess as a kid. Just say you fucking lived. You lived. That's all. Just saying. My second favorite song from Childish Gambino is Me and Your Mama. My favorite intro from him, one of my favorite intros of all time into an album, set a crazy tone for the album. And so many different lyrics within the song hits me, speaks to me, and is true thoughts that it's coming out of my soul that I couldn't really even like come up with the words to say, and then he said it perfectly for me of how I felt in those times. Girl, you really got a hold on me, so this isn't just puppy love. Listen, that song is special. We all know that. Everyone knows that. And also it sets the tone for the album because we have Baby Boy in later part of the album, Stand Tall at the end, which is later than that. And it just keeps kind of going, Redbone and all that type of stuff within the album. So, but that's not my favorite song. Comment below, fam. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite song from Childish Gambino? My favorite song is Flight of the Navigator. Just hold me close, my darling. I literally would be on the top of my bunk bed growing up with my headphones on, going to sleep to Fly the Navigators before school on a nightly basis. And as an adult, it's comfort music for me. It's grounding music for me. I love Fly the Navigators for the past decade, and I will forever. The calmness, the build-up, the lyrics behind it, spacious vibe, 10 out of 10 song. Fly the Navigator, and my favorite song from Childish Gambino, for sure, for sure. Those are my 20 favorite songs ranked from Childish Gambino. Let's get into albums and close out this video. In his discography, he has 6 albums, and I think one is an EP, but still. My 6th favorite album from him is gonna be Bando Stone and The New World. I'm gonna keep it a stack, fam. I don't like this album at all. I would rank it a 1 out of 10. I would rank it a 2 out of 10. And the 2 comes from Lithonia. The other songs, I do not like them, and it's long. It's a long listen. So long, I didn't even listen to it on my channel or on even Patreon. I just listened to it on my own time, watched other reactors and stuff like that to it as well to see their perspectives and everything. And I don't agree with a lot of the reactors. I know a lot of people love this album, but for me, I give it a 2 out of 10. Very all over the place. No cohesion without the album. And I know it's for a movie, it's for whatever. Nah. I just don't understand why he can't make more Lithonias on the album. Like, you have Lithonia, and that's the preview of the album, and then the rest of the album sounds nothing like it. Number 5 is only going to be a tad bit better than that, and that is Out of Vista. Out of Vista has Final Church, and it has probably like one other song that I'm like, okay, But they also don't have Lithonia on this album. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't have a song up on that level. Very long listening once again, and a lot of grand gestures for no reason. But you know what? You can watch my reactions to that to see it for yourself. So with that album, I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Kawhi, I'm going to give that a 4 out of 10. It's a short listen. Nothing too special about it at all. The only reason why it's above Out of Vista and Bando Stone for me is because it's shorter. If it was the same length, it probably would have been worse because it doesn't have Lithonia and it doesn't have Final Church up there. So, but it's a very short EP, so that's why it's ranked 4th. Now, for my top 3 is where it got real tricky because there's nostalgia here. There's also my mature ears kicking in as well. But there's also a lot of high points and a lot of low points. And I thought that my 3rd was going to be my 1st, but actually as I've gotten older, I can see that the 3rd is really the 3rd. And so my 3rd favorite album from Childish is going to be Camp. And the reason why is because there's a lot of low points. There's a lot of young Childish up here that doesn't really have a lot of like just the texture within the songs, and the sound just isn't as good as I remember when I was young. And so as I got older, I could see where he's matured, and I could see where artistry has to elevate. So I get it. That's my 3rd, and I would honestly give it a 6 out of 10 album. My 2nd favorite album is going to be Awaken My Love. And really what catapulted that album for me above Camp by a little margin was Baby Boy. Terrified in the first half of Stand Tall boosted it up a little bit because I can see where he was trying to go, and I can see why a lot of people love this album and why it's his essential album now. But for me, you guys, I feel like this album doesn't sound as good as people say. Like, honestly, have some love into Boogeyman. The sound that he was going for, I could just find it in the real artists that have done it. You know, like the artists that inspired him have done it. Those songs and that old school vibe, the funky feeling, I feel like I could just find it the original place. I don't feel like he's made it better. That's where I differ from a lot of people because they love this album because of those sounds. And I'm like, for me personally, I just don't like his voice in this album at all. Me and Your Mama holds it so high for me. Terrified and Baby Boy holds it so high for me, and that's why. But there's such low points for me in this album. But I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. And for my favorite album from him is going to be Because the Internet. Watch my reaction in review if you guys want to see some of my other thoughts on it. But after listening to it for all these years, I just feel like for this to be the album that a lot of people epitomize as his best and a lot as one of his essentials once again, and as like an epitome of the internet times, the Vine, the Facebook, and all this type of stuff times. I'm just in MySpace or whatever times. Man, I wish it really did encapsulate more of it. I feel like there's so many pointless points within this album. The party starting and then it stops, goes into so many different places for no reason when it could have been such a conceptual album about Because the Internet. And I feel like the track listing also doesn't comprehend either. There's no correlation between Pink Toes in the song Earth's Biggest Troll. There's no correlation, but that is the track, that is the set listing within it, within the supposed to be like movie in our mind of us watching what is supposed to be one of the most conceptual albums of my generation, of our generations. I feel like it falls flat. There's a lot of great songs though, like Fly the Navigators, like Crawl, like 3005, like Shadows and Sweatpants. There's a few high points, but then there's so many low points. But just for me, I have to like that album more than Awaken My Love because I just don't like a lot of the sounds of Awaken My Love. And Camp is too young and early. I thought Camp was my favorite album, but because the internet has to be, I'm still let down by this album and by his discography, to be honest. If this is his 6 albums, I'm going to have to rank that album a little bit higher than Awaken My Love. So I'm going to give it, but it's not a 7 out of 10 album to me. I'm going to give it 6.8. So adding up all those album ratings and dividing them by the 6 albums that he has, my rating of Childish Gambino's entire discography is a 4.72. And with that being said, I feel like he has so many more songs that are grand and that are amazing to me that he probably didn't release or he hasn't created yet, but now he's done. He's moving into other ventures, which we applaud and I love him for. Like, I'm so happy for him. I just feel like he's always had this demeanor within his musical career that's like, I've done it all. I've given you guys everything that I have and I've needed to give you guys. You guys have gotten classics for me and classics for me. And I don't feel like that. I've never felt like that. I felt like with Camp, I'm like, all right, I'm waiting for, okay, because of the internet, I felt too young. I'm like, all right, this could have been better. This could have been more cohesive. I don't understand that. And then it's like, okay, here comes Awaken My Love. And I'm listening to Me and Your Mama. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Let's keep listening. Have some love for your mother. Have some. I'm like, what's happening here? And it doesn't really go anywhere to me. High points once again in Redbone. Then it just drops off again. You guys can see my Patreon exclusive for that one. Then after he takes a long break, makes Atlanta, going into many different ventures. Proud of him. Then this year he drops 2 albums. And both of these albums are probably the worst albums of the year to me. At Vista and Bando Stone. So just to close out this video of me ranking Childish Gambino's entire discography, I feel with the rating of 4.72, comparing that with the stature and status that Childish has and how he's retiring everything now, I'm going to have to say that I believe his discography is overrated. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll talk to y'all. It's your boy JaKar. Peace out.